Do you remember the point during Minecraft's initial peak where there were so many games that labeled themselves as Minecraft style? You may not see a lot of them now, but back then, these games plagued app stores. Now you're probably thinking of the most popular example of this, but I have some other rather interesting games that also stem from this category. There were some other ones I had in mind, but since the Google Play Store is so garbage now, I couldn't really find them, but trust me, these ones are still pretty wacky. Cops and Robbers is a very old game made by Joydo. The company was formerly named Ripoffs, and this is actually a secondary game, with the original being BlockStar Cops and Robbers. That game's server shut down, so you only have this one and the other two from back then. I'm not entirely sure why they didn't want to build on BlockStar, but who knows. It's one of many Minecraft style shooters, and although it was and isn't the most popular, it was a pretty okay alternative. I will say the main interface is quite interesting, although it kind of looks like a PNG of your player was just dragged into the middle. It's a little cluttered, but most of the stuff on here isn't really that important. When you click battle, you'll be sent to a screen that features 9 game modes. I don't know why the blocks are different shapes, but hey, creativity. Before I could go through with anything, I got offered a weapon trial of the Starshine ML. I couldn't tell you what ML was, but this weapon resembles another one from a more popular game. And if I watched an ad, I'd be able to use it for 15 minutes. Yeah, that's kind of stupid. You could just make it match based, because I might not be playing the game for 15 minutes. And even if I was, it's not 15 minutes of a match, it's just 15 minutes in the game in general. Now there's 4 modes to play in the classic section. I'm sure you know what team and deathmatch is, and stronghold is pretty much domination. In terms of the gameplay, it's okay. This prototype, I mean Starshine ML, is pretty good, but the movement is kind of weird. The reload animations and the shooting feel smooth, but the overall moving around of your character still feels like this game was made in 2013. I do like the kill counters though, those are pretty nice. While the health bars are kind of nice, they're pretty unnecessary considering that you're actively shooting your opponents, and there's really no need to see your teammates' health bars. Also, I experienced something a little weird. Sometimes when I'm facing off against people and I get clear shots off, I'll end up dead, but I'll also end up killing them after I died. I don't know if it's a latency issue, but it's kind of weird. And the 5-second respawn cooldown is kind of annoying. Not because I can't wait 5 seconds, but because there's games where I don't have to. But I know not everybody might feel the same way. Overall, the gameplay is fine, but it could definitely be better. One thing I will say though is the maps are pretty cool. Like, they're not the most eye-catching, but they're very intricate. You can actually go inside buildings, and in some cases underground. I would easily trade detailed maps over high quality graphics any day. When you level up, you'll get things like rewards and in some cases weapon trials. I don't know if the trial clock runs off game though, so keep that in mind. Now, the hide and seek mode was rather boring. Now, I might just be terrible at the game, but I spent 5 whole minutes and couldn't find anybody, or at least I don't think I did. From what I saw, there isn't any indicator that I found someone, but again, I could suck gargantuan butt cheeks. Party Wars is where you get thrown into a map and you get a bunch of powerful weapons out the gate. It was kind of fun, but the game mode itself didn't really make sense. Chaos Battle consists of 2 modes, Chaos Battle and Chaos Parkour. In Chaos Battle, you can pick between 3 different unique characters and fight each other who also chose those same characters. Okay, I just have to say, why does that guy look like that? In fact, what is that thing? Bro looks like he finna touch someone. I do not want to fight against that one. Stay away from me. Each one has their own unique abilities. The shark shoots projectiles, the monkey throws bananas, and the freaky tiki has a bat. Yeah, you stay far away from me. Now, Chaos Parkour is really interesting. You start off as a specific character, and as you complete the challenges, you change into the next one. I don't get the significance of this, but hey, it's there. The challenges themselves are easy and repetitive, and I honestly got bored very quickly, but hey, it's a game mode. The Battle Royale was honestly not that bad. There was nothing unique or game changing, but I couldn't really find anything wrong with it. So if you're a Battle Royale baddie, you'll enjoy this. Zombie mode is decently fun too. The monsters are pretty easy to kill and there isn't a lot of them, but I found it to be kind of entertaining. It does feel like it's kind of just there to be there though. Mutation mode is a pretty good concept, but it's just so difficult. It's their version of infection, but the monster is a tank and like two-taps you, and by the time most of the players become mutants, it's just unfair. The game mode would be a lot more fun if the maps were bigger and the mutants were less strong. The story mode didn't feel like a story mode at all. You just escaped places and that's it. Again, it's a mode that feels like it's just there to be there. And season is pretty much ranked team deathmatch. You do have the option to do 3v3 or 5v5, which okay. The weapons didn't seem half bad, but everything is just kind of confusing. Like, nothing's categorized, they're all just there, and a lot of them seem kind of expensive. Now, this game has other basic stuff like weapon skins, battle royale props, regular skins, and armor. And from that alone, you would have thought this game would have died out in like 3 years. But there's actually one thing that sets this game apart from even the really good ones, and that's the community-made stuff. There's a workshop section where you could customize any part of the game. There's custom skins, custom weapons, custom stickers, if you really want that, and custom maps, as well as armor and map models. Some of the skins are pretty cool, but others are just freaky. Like, what are y'all doing, bro? What is this? I guess I shouldn't be surprised when you're given this freedom, but I'm not gonna act like this isn't a kid's game. But besides the down bad stuff, there are some genuinely cool and funny skins. The same could be said for the stickers, though I assume some of them are imported images since the pixel counts are higher. But it gets even better with the weapons. I haven't seen weapons as creative and unique in any other game than this one, and they do it in such a great way. There aren't any additional assets being imported, the weapons are just being built on the ones already in the game. That is just such a smart way to do it. And there are so many cool weapons here, like a long machine gun, a freaking Volvo, an RPG rainbow, and even a Sony Xperia. Look, I need somebody to make the Galaxy Note 7, please, I need that. And there are so many more. There's even the third eye from Pixel Gun in here. The weapons are so cool and there's so many you can get. The maps are pretty awesome too. Some of them are just weird freak slop, but others are genuinely sick. And there's no cost, you can just play them. This stuff alone is going to keep this game on my phone. This is literally the coolest part about the game. Now, they have this thing called the Homeland that you can customize. I don't really care about this, but it's there for those who do. And yes, this has typical mobile game stuff like ads and a battle pass. Overall though, this game is pretty decent with the custom weapons, skins, and maps hard carrying it. The physics and overall layout could be better, but other than that, it's kinda solid. It could use a bit more polish, but I really appreciate that it still sticks to that Minecraft-esque styling. It's really not that bad of a game. A lot of you guys might remember a game called Block City Wars. It was this blocky GTA ripoff that was actually kinda good, but after a while the game kinda got abandoned. Well, at some point the dev team that owns Pixel Gun decided to revamp it in their own way. But before I get into the new version, I want to get into the old one. You meet this guy named Tony Blockshot. He's the main gangster of Block City. He just shows you how to take a gun and use a car, you know, the basics. He even says I'm cool. This game's menu is very simple. You just have the arsenal and battle button. There's probably no events due to this version being outdated though, and the music that plays goes crazy. The arsenal is filled with various types of gangster weapons. You got things like an MP5, a nail gun, a minigun, and a plasma shotgun. And some of the weapons change colors when you upgrade them. You even have some throwables like a grenade, Molotov, and a nitro can. I could have sworn there was more armor, but I only see the regular one and the golden one. And then there's a bunch of cool hats and boots you can get as well. Another cool thing about this version was that there was a lot of vehicles you could get. There was a lot of cars that had really funny names like Lambo, Porgera, and Verratti. And then there's just this monster truck school bus. I like how it says you can't use it for racing. But if you don't want those, there's a wide selection of bikes, tanks, and mechs. Yes, you can use mechs in this game. Most have the regular two-leg design, but there are a couple with the spider leg structure. I'm not sure why one of them doesn't move though. I haven't played this game a whole lot to know, but I would assume the mechs would be pretty annoying to deal with in-game, especially when you have to go against the higher durability ones. I was on and off this game though, so I couldn't really tell you. At some point they also had Battle Royale. There's some cool cosmetics, but I don't really care about that stuff. And then there was plenty of skins to choose from, with each having their own description. It'd be pretty crazy to get murked by Spider-Man using a rocket launcher then hopping into a Variety. When you get to the game modes section, there's 14 different modes you can play. That is honestly crazy. And I like how the screen is very polished. In older versions, when you clicked on a square, the background would go into full color and there'd be a bit of motion. They have normal modes like Team Battle, Free Fight, and Battle Royale, but then they have crazy ones like Titan Robots, Rocket Ball, and Pixelmon, and you could even Street Race. The gameplay itself is incredibly smooth. Even in this older version, I didn't experience any lag or stutters. The graphics are pretty good, but this game definitely has a lot of polish. I also like little details like smoke coming out of cars when they're severely damaged. Unfortunately, I did run into a bunch of hackers. There were some genuine players, but others had cheats, and it was kind of annoying. I'm not really surprised though, since this architecture is completely abandoned. Regardless of that, I still had a lot of fun. I like the story mode as well. Going around doing the little quests was pretty fun. All in all, the old Block City Wars was just as good as I remembered it. But then we have the new one. I know a lot of people hate it, but it really isn't that bad. Like with this one, you can customize your character instead of having to choose a specific skin. And they even have a dedicated storyline that intertwines with the Pixel Gun universe. And Tony Blockshot is now Mayor Tony. Not gonna lie, this guy fell off. I want my fat mafia boss back. If I'm being honest, I think the thing that really ruins this game is the fact that Pixel Gun is smeared all over it. I'm glad that they took up the project, but I wish they made Block City Wars a standalone game still. The previous version had its own unique charm and polish that separated it from its competitors, but with Pixel Gun rubbing itself all over it, it just feels like an extension, and it really doesn't help that some of Pixel Gun's weapons are in this game. Honestly, if they just made some minor adjustments and updated the graphics, it wouldn't be that bad. And it's not like this game is the worst thing ever, it's just I prefer the old Block City Wars much more. Eventually they did decide to put the project on hold, which is unfortunate, especially since you can't play the old version unless you download an APK, in which you'll probably run into the same hacker issue that I did. I can't really rip on the devs for this though, it was a good attempt. I just wish they tried to build on top of Block City Wars instead of starting from scratch. I know they had to create another architecture, but I mean in terms of vibes. I give it a 6 out of 10, and if they ever pick it up again, I hope they stick to Block City Wars roots. Those of you who like tower defense games probably heard of Block Fortress. It is an attack and defend fortress game, but cube. Now I was going to play the original one, but I ain't paying $2 for it. So instead I decided to play Block Fortress Empires, which is similar. You start off customizing your character. They have different helmets and suits you can wear, as well as different species you can be. My favorite is the octopus. Before you start the tutorial, you get 2 free weapons, a machine gun and a mini nuke. And you can choose between a bunch of various home planets. The tutorial is pretty simple. They show you how to place stuff down and attack things, and after that they show you around the HQ. The build mode is where you can set up defenses for your fortress. You get thousands of blocks to place and tons of turrets. I have absolutely no war strategy, so I just built a wall. There are 4 different types of minerals that can be used for different things like upgrading and unlocking chests, and the workshop is where you can find all the parts you collected for specific weapons and gadgets. And I do want to say the graphics are really nice. I like how a lot of these games keep their blocky style while having high quality shading. There was one little confusing thing though. You can go to a menu to access a bunch of stuff, but you can also walk around your base to access those same things. That just feels like an unnecessary use of space, but there could be some relevance to it that I haven't found out yet. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest, the game is a little overwhelming. It doesn't really toss you into the fire, but I wish it held my hand a little bit more. Like, I don't know what strategy I should use to place my turrets and stuff. I just have to put them somewhere. But I guess that's just how it is with these types of games. And when I did raid a bot's fortress, it was kind of boring. I'm sure games like these get more fun later on, but I couldn't stick it out. And I couldn't catch this a lot, but sometimes when I was aiming, the screen would just go haywire. I couldn't tell if this was a bug or if the game can't always read my inputs, but it was just something I found out. The game itself isn't that bad. There's a lot going for it, and although I do prefer the original Block Forest, this one's good too. I bet you thought Minecraft style games wouldn't reach the girly world. Oh, but it did. I'm sure many of you remember the game BlockStar Planet. Yeah, that thing. Well, they made a Minecraft version called BlockStar Planet. You play as this weird bouncy little thing. I don't know what it is. Human, gremlin, something. You can customize your character, but it looks super weird. Like some pant options just have no legs and some shirt options just have no arms. We're really representing the disabled community with this one. And when you put in your username, they tell you not to use your real name, which in a game like this, I'm glad they're telling you. And apparently we're in Denmark? Ew. What is this, 1832? I don't want to be a Denmarkian. Anyways, once you hop in, the map looks pretty huge. And out the gate, you can tell this game was made for children -3 and under. It's open world, so you can go around and do whatever. And for some reason, when you double jump, you do a flip. Also, while I was away for a bit, someone turned me into a duck. I don't know why this happened, but whoever you are, I will have my revenge. The game modes are honestly pretty simple. There's battle, chat, parkour, and mining. The battle mode is pretty terrible. It's hard to aim and everybody's weapons are super powerful. And if you fall into the Thanos juice, you explode. But it was pretty chaotic, so it was kind of fun. The parkour was meh. It was just incredibly repetitive. There were custom maps though, so that was pretty cool. And then I just couldn't see any significance in the mining. Like I know you collect all the ores and things, but this just sucked. Guess they're teaching them young. Eventually, lava amassed and killed me, which was honestly kind of funny. But yeah, that's all there really is to it. Now I know this game is way out of my demographic, so obviously I wouldn't find it fun. But for anyone who does play this game, be careful, because there's always people trying to do something. I'm sure we all thought about the idea of Minecraft and Roblox combined. Luckily, someone already beat us to it, because they created Blockman Go. It's quite literally what I said, Minecraft and Roblox combined. More so Roblox, but it has Minecraft design, with a few Minecraft inspired games. And this platform has a lot of games. There's FPS, open world, horror, and those Minecraft inspired games I was talking about. Now, this game deals with the same issues that Roblox does, in which a lot of these games are low quality, but the ones that aren't are really fun. Like I enjoyed playing Bed Wars, even though it was pretty difficult to play on a phone. And Frontlines was terrible, but in a fun bad way. I did like how there was so much to offer though. A lot of these games were boring, but at least there was something to do. I can't really tell you that this game is necessarily bad. I'm not sure why you would play it over Roblox, unless you just really hate Roblox. But I think it's great to have an alternative plug and play platform. There really isn't much to it after that though. It's just a bunch of games you can play. I feel like that's a weirdly accurate way to sum these games up. It's kind of weird how a lot of these games are probably only popular because they're Minecraft style, but hey, I guess it worked out for them. But I'm sure we haven't seen the last of these types of games at all.